Jon C. Younger is an HR thought leader, author, advisor, board member, and early stage investor in HR tech startups. His current emphasis is on agile talent, the freelance revolution, and the future of work. I met him originally interviewing him about his book, Agile Talent, just
That's right.
published by Harvard. He's also written HR from the Outside In and the HR Transformation. He's written many articles for HBR, Talent Quarterly, and other journals. He's the author of Forbes Careers blog, Freelance Revolution. Jon, fellow Connecticut resident, how you doing?
Very well. Thank you for asking. I'm Connecticut is about as good a place to shelter in place as you could find.
I can't really complain too much. Let's just jump in here a little bit. Agile talent, agile talent in the face of COVID-19. Any high level thoughts for is it better? Is it worse? Is it more complicated? How creative do people have to be if they're sort of thinking agile talent right now?
All of the above. All of the above. So if we talk about, there are three sides to this triangle. There are the individual freelancers, there are the companies, and then of course there are the the platforms that are providing those folks.
Hmm.
From an individual freelancer point of view, this is a difficult time, unless some of the continuing work of corporates has been maintained, and there's lots of things that need to get fixed. Obviously, while most folks are working remotely, many of the freelancers have struggled to provide an income for themselves and their family. There's an expectation that that will turn around over the next 3 to 6 months, a very strong belief, both by the companies themselves and by the platforms that are supporting them. But in the interim, it's tough times.
Hmm. Hmm.
For the corporates, it's also tough times. Companies are learning how to operate in distributed remote environments that they've never had to learn how to operate before. And while some of them are finding tremendous productivity gains, others are finding that they don't know how to set that stuff up
Hmm.
and that they need to learn. And we're finding a tremendous response on the part of organizations and consultants to help these companies do that.
Hmm.
The third side of the triangle is the platforms. They are doing everything they can to provide work for their
Hmm.
freelancers. Those platforms that are strong in enterprise, that is working with bigger corporates,
Hmm.
have had a better time in general, and certainly in this case, than the largest of the platforms, which tend to supply what are called SMB, small and medium sized businesses.
Hmm.
And the problem is, small and medium sized businesses are trying to conserve their cash as much as they possibly can.
Sure, sure.
So that's kind of the overview of what's happening now, but things are moving.
Yeah, yeah.
It's hard to know whether what's happening now will be what's happening in 3 to 6 months.
Is it your opinion that traditional hiring and recruiting is this a game changer? Is that sort of out the window? Are we looking at a sort of a new reality now?
You know, everybody that's predicted a new reality has been wrong. So I'm not going to do that. I'm 68. I've seen a bunch of stuff happen in the world, and these things tend to come back around and around and around, Dave.
Hmm.
So I think what's going to happen is that what we'll see over time is a richer mix of freelance and full-time employees.
Right.
You'll see the rise, uh, truly the rise of, sorry,
That's okay. No problem.
truly we'll see the rise of flexible blended workforces that
Hmm.
bring together
Hmm.
freelancers and contract people and robotics and
Sure,
AI and machine learning.
sure,
It's going to be a very interesting time,
sure.
but we're not going to see wholesale changes. We're
Got it.
going to see incremental and layered change.
Right, right. It's sort of it's going to be it's going to be additional stuff, not sort of flipping, but just you know, more.
You know, I spoke on a panel with the then president of Statoil, who's now the chairman of BP. name is Helga Lund. And at this event where we both spoke, he made the most wonderful statement. He said, "Ladies and gentlemen, the future has not been canceled." I don't think the future's been
Right,
canceled in this case
right,
either. I
right.
don't. I don't think we're going to do away with full-time employment. I don't think we're going to do
Sure,
away with freelancing. I think we're going to fuse this
sure.
in a way that provides organizations with, on the one hand, predictability,
Right.
and on the other hand, flexibility.
Good, good. And just to wrap up, I'm going to ask you I'll call it the thematic question of the program. I ask this of everybody. Um, Jon, what lessons are we learning now that we must not forget?
Oh boy, that's a big one. And I suppose that the the most important lesson is that the pandemic is a global problem and needs a global solution, and that the workforce of the future is a global dilemma and needs a global solution. I think that these are times when the more minds that we can put together and the more hands and legs we can move forward, the better.
Excellent. Jon, thank you so much for taking the time out this morning. I look
My
forward to,
pleasure.
and maybe we could at some point loop back around and talk some more.
Dave, one more thing, and that is I have always enjoyed your work. Please keep going, expand, because if you don't, I'll be poor intellectually.
You're so kind. Thank you so much and have a great rest of the day.
Take care, man.